Pete the cat's got class. It's math time, says Pete the teacher. Mr. G's Pete the cat loves math. He loves how the numbers work together. If I had 3 blocks, every 4 yellow blocks, then how many blocks we have in all? Says Mr. G. Raises his hand. 7 blocks, says Pete. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Very good, Pete, says Mr. G. Mr. G asks the class subtraction question. If you're like 2 blocks away from the 7, how many blocks would be left? Pete raises his hand, but the teacher calls Tom. 9. Pete feels bad for Tom. Tom is pretty smart, but he can name all the dinosaurs, just the trouble with math. Pete has an idea. He will help Tom become awesome at math. Helping is cool. On the bus from home to school, Pete sits next to Tom. Do you want to come over to play? I got some cool new cars for my birthday. Awesome, so say our math homework and we could do race the cars. We don't hate math, Pete tells Mom. You just have to love it. Pete set up some blocks. If you had 5 blocks, 3 orange blocks together, how many blocks do you have in all? This is boring, says Pop. We can play with the race cars. This gives Pete a great idea. Sure we can, says Pete. Pete lines up some race cars. You have 5 red cars going to the racetrack and 5 yellow cars are going to the car wash. How many cars do you have on the road? He asks. Easy, says Tom. 10 cars. Like a traffic jam. Now if you had 2 cars stayed home, Pete says how many cars would be left? Pop says studying the lineup. 8 cars. Right, says Pete. I told you math is awesome. Pete quizzes Tom on one math problem. After the next, 4 cars minus 1. 3, says Tom. 8 cars plus 7, says Pete. 15, says Tom. I can't believe you're doing math. I'm loving it. Pete and Tom do their homework. Let me know if you need my help, says Pete. Thanks, says Tom, but I know what I'm doing now. Next day, Pete hands the math homework and Tom does too. After lunch, teacher passes back their assignment. Pete and Tom each got one wrong. Let's say 2 after class, Mr. G. You both know how to copy someone else's homework. We didn't copy, says Pete. We both got the exact same answer wrong. Mr. tells him. How can we prove that you got the answers for our own? I know, Pete tells him. Bring your race cars to school tomorrow. Why? You'll see. Next day, Pete and Bob got to school early. What are your race cars for? To show you how Tom got good math at. Give Tom a math problem, says Pete. Any math problem? I'll bet it right here, says Tom, without Pete's help. Mr. G Tom with one math problem after another. Tom chooses 3 cards to the same answer right. Wow, Mr. G, I'm impressed. He helped me make math fun. I think that's something we can all learn from Pete, says Mr. G. Take it from Pete. Math is neat.